got breaking news, Vikings fans, as they are signing free agent cornerback Fabian Moreau in NFL free agency. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Vikings Now. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, everything you need to know about Fabian Moreau, and then also some more free agent and trade targets at the cornerback position for our Minnesota Vikings, and overall just talk about how the group is shaking out right now. But it was actually Mike Garafolo who broke the news, as he says the Vikings are signing veteran corner free agent Moreau. Source says Moreau played in 16 games for the Broncos last season with 11 starts, recording 1 reception, 7 PBUs, and he was a former third-round pick of the Commanders as he's heading into his 8th NFL season. So Moreau last year was with the Denver Broncos, and I asked our Broncos Broncos breakdown host, Matthew Peterson, just give me the rundown quickly on Moreau, and he said he just played at a B- level this past season, but the stats look like this as such, with 46 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 7 pass breakups, and 1 interception. Now, actually, the Broncos defense was sneaky good for a little bit of last year, did fall off at the second half, but a big reason why they were, at a point, a good defense this past season was because of the secondary, and Fabian Moreau was an integral piece of that. And this was a sneaky good pickup by the Vikings. We'll talk about a report that we got from Darren Wolfson about a big name potentially coming to Minnesota, and I don't think that is just this, but in terms of Fabian Moreau signing, I think this is a sneaky good pickup. Like, not in terms of just a, camp body or a guy who can compete for the 53-man roster, but a veteran who can help these younger cornerbacks, and also a guy who can step in there and play immediately with this Brian Flores-led defense. I will get more about the corners here in a second, but we got to make sure you guys are subscribed here to Vikings Now by Chat Sports. Anytime we get breaking news around our Minnesota Vikings, I'll have a video for you guys ASAP. I was making videos in my car, in a bathroom during free agency. I don't care what I'm doing. I would drop it and make a video for you guys whenever some breaking news happens. So hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a thing. But this is how I have the Vikings cornerback room shaking out right now. Still got Byron Murphy, Shaq Griffin, and Caleb Evans as the big three. I don't think that is changing with this pickup. But you look at the guys behind them. Mekhi Blackmon, unfortunately, out for the year. You got guys like Andrew Booth Jr., Duke Shelley, and now you add Fabian Moreau to that mix. Like, I just don't, love the depth at this group, and that's why I think this move was needed. Like, I'm not saying Fabian is going to come in here and he's going to, change the whole production from this cornerback room like a guy like Marshon Lattimore would. But this was needed just to have another body in there during training camp who can step in if a player gets hurt or whatever it may be. And he's a veteran guy who's been in the NFL for a while, and he's also been very, very healthy throughout his NFL career. I mean, look at his games played over the last 4 seasons. Hasn't played less than 14 games over the last 4 years. And he's always been a good tackler, has always been good in the run game, and obviously, Brian Flores requires his cornerbacks to do just that. And he also had 7 pass breakups this past year, 10 the year before that, 11 the year before that. So he's also been a very productive player, and actually he did spend time with the New York Giants where he was great with them as well. So, hey, the Vikings signing Bobby McCain and Fabian Moreau, 2 former Giants secondary members before they play in Week 1, I thought was also a little bit interesting. But I do want to get to this report from Darren Wolfson. As he said on Score North, that he fully anticipates a recognizable name coming in at corner in the coming weeks. Now, no disrespect to Fabian Moreau here, but I don't think this was the big name that he was talking about. We'll talk about 5 of those names here in a second, but I don't think this was the big move. I think this was just more of a depth piece and a guy who can come in and get you solid production, at the Vikings cornerback spot. But I don't think this was the big move that maybe Wolfson was talking about. But also, this was an important report we got. Brian Flores actually talked about this before training camp, that Bobby McCain, who the Vikings signed a couple days ago, won't start at cornerback. He will actually start at safety. So that was a key note here. And also, more on McCain to know is that his best year actually came in 2021 when he did start 8 games at corner and 8 games at free safety. And he also had a career high, 4 interceptions, and also led the Commanders that year with 4 interceptions. So he's going to be playing safety, and not cornerback, but the big cornerback move, was Fabian Moreau. But I want you guys to grade the signing for me. Get out those red pens. What do you guys think of the Fabian Moreau signing? Give me an A, B, C, D, or F down in the comment section. And also coming up in just a second, 5 more free agent targets or trade targets for the Minnesota Vikings at that cornerback position. So stay tuned for that. But before we dive into that, got to give a huge shout out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is Game Time, the best ticket purchasing app out there. And if you guys download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code ChatSports, you guys will receive $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. First purchase only, but use promo code ChatSports, and we'll hook you guys up with $20 off. Now, if you guys are a diehard Minnesota Twins fan or are looking to go to some games this summer, you are in luck because Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier on the Game Time app. And actually, prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets the first pitch. So with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Now, my 2 favorite features of the Game Time app are the all-in prices and the views from your seat. You won't get drilled with extra fees when you go to checkout, which happens on other ticket purchasing apps out there. And plus, I love that you can actually see where you'll be sitting on the app, so you will see, what you would be looking at when you or before you actually buy the ticket. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, so let's go over 5 more corners that the Vikings could bring in this offseason. We can start off with the first name and probably the biggest name here. And we're going to go with Stephon Gilmore. Is coming off his age 33 season with the Dallas Cowboys, but he was still pretty productive. And I think Gilmore offers, obviously the on-the-field production where he could truly step in and be that, hybrid of cornerback 1, cornerback 2 with Byron Murphy, and you just push everybody else down the pecking order of that group. But also I think the impact he would have in the locker room, like just helping these younger corners develop, just having a guy where they can go to if they have questions. And, I'll use this comparison. Like, you guys remember when you were in school and you maybe had a dumb question that you wanted to ask the teacher, and you didn't want to go specifically to the teacher, but you went to one of your other classmates because you didn't want to, embarrass yourself or whatever it may be. Gilmore could be that buffer for some of the younger guys in the secondary with Brian Flores. So he would be my dream pickup in terms of free agency. And maybe that's the big name Darren Wilson was talking about. But also another big name out there, what about Adoree Jackson? Now, he's coming off his age 28 season with the New York Giants. And, Adoree, former first-round pick, has all types of talent to be successful in the national injuries with them. And he hasn't really lived up to that first-round pick production. And you guys see the games played on screen right now. 23, played in 14 games. 2022, only 10. 21, 13. And then 20, only 3 games played. So, Adoree Jackson, I think he would be the best scheme fit for Brian Flores, as he's that typical press man corner. And actually, ESPN's Bill Barnwell put in an article a while ago suggesting that he thinks Adoree should head to Minnesota just for his personal career. So I would love the pickup of Adoree Jackson. Good scheme fit, can come in day one and be productive. But another guy that can come in day one and know the defense entirely is Xavien Howard. Now, he does have some off-the-field legal issues going on right now, but let's just keep this on the field as, Xavien has still got a lot left in the tank. He had a really good year for Miami this past season, playing in 13 games, 12 PBUs, 1 interception, only allowed 500 yards total throughout all 13 of those contests. But typical press man corner, had his best year under Brian Flores when he was back in Miami. I think he had around 10 interceptions or something like that season, which was fantastic. So Xavien, again, he could be a guy who the Vikings could sign the Saturday before week 1 heading against the Giants, and he will be familiar with the defense and understand what Flores is trying to accomplish. But what about James Bradberry? Now, this is a guy who is still currently on the Eagles, but 1, the Eagles could be looking to trade him, and also 2, he could be cut from the Eagles. But the thing is about Bradberry is he is just not the same guy anymore. This isn't the James Bradberry who us Vikings fans are very familiar with, as he has had his way against our football team over the past couple of years. But specifically last season, Bradberry was a shell of himself, and he was a cooked product out there. So I would be opposed to bringing in James Bradberry. There's some drama around him. I just feel like he's always making too much noise. And, when you're making a lot of noise and the production is not the same, my interest is just not really too high on Bradberry, but he's an interesting choice to bring in. But he would be my number one choice. Obviously, the contract and the trade compensation you would have to give up does hinder this a little bit. But, man, if the Vikings could swing a trade for Marshon Lattimore, it would just be a perfect move. He is 28 years old, so he is a little older, in terms of the NFL life. But, injuries have hindered him the past couple of years. In the past 2 seasons, he's only played 17 games. But when he has been out there and when he has been playing, he has been incredibly productive. He is an all-pro corner, a top 5, top 10 corner in the National Football League. He does have a hefty contract over the next couple of seasons, but the Vikings can afford that without paying the quarterback position. That's why I've loved the moves the Vikings have made this offseason, because it offers flexibility at damn near every other position. But you guys see the stats on screen. He's been productive. He's been one of the better cornerbacks in the National Football League over the past couple of years. And if you could somehow, trade him for, a 6th and a 3rd round pick, whatever it is, I would do it in a heartbeat. Lattimore's still got a lot left to prove. But I'll ask you guys this. Says, Wolfson had that comment about saying that the Vikings will sign a big name, in the coming days. But, was it Fabian Moreau, or do you expect the Vikings to make another move? You guys answer this question. Will the Vikings add another cornerback? Y for yes, N for no down below. And also give me a follow on Twitter if you guys want more around your Vikings on your Twitter timeline. That's a handle right there, @PatSieps. Give me a follow over there. I'll give you a follow back. We'll see you guys next time. Skol Vikes.